So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sharon Whiteman, and I partner with Dinah Hunter and Gary Knapp every week to bring this Saturday morning training to the Australasian community and sometimes across the globe. We're very privileged today to have Rachel Davy. Rachel is a colleague and a friend, and she's well, you're going to hear about that. I was just going to say she was a very giving spirit, and she is a very giving spirit. That's why we're celebrating her today. Rachel Davy, with her husband Michael, joined Manatech in 2018. Rachel trained as a registered nurse and midwife and has practiced for 27 years. She has a heart for people and a desire to see them avoid dis-ease. With this desire, Rachel has moved into primary practice, where she thought through education and screening, she would see people avoiding dis-ease. But what she found through screening was early detection and not prevention of disease. So, we're saying that word in a different way, dis-ease, because that's where the body is just out of kilter, isn't it? And nothing we talk about today is about treating any diseases at all. Finding Manatech allowed Rachel to get one more step ahead of disease, learning healthy cells equal a healthy body. She shared Manatech product range and went on to receive the 2018 Rookie of the Year Award for Business Development. She spoke on ACON stage in 2019 and 2021 and received the Mike Forrest Giving Spirit Award last year. Rachel believes in the mission and purpose of Manatech and the business structure of network marketing, and freely shares her knowledge and resources with the whole Manatech family of associates. And I've been a recipient of her generosity, and she's so well deserving for this award. Rach, congratulations. It's good for us all to celebrate you publicly.
Thank you so much, Sharon, and thank you for this opportunity to speak on your platform.
That's so exciting. So tell us, let's go back. Tell us how you came to be introduced to Manatech, and all our journeys that have commonalities, but there's also differences. Tell us about yours.
Well, many years before I joined, I had met a lady who had been using the Manatech product range, and she had a great story where just, she experienced her hands being stiffer and couldn't work them well in the morning and everything like that. And she showed me what she was doing, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And because it had such a marked effect on her lifestyle, that she could go back to being a marriage celebrant and things like that, I just parked it in the back of my head going, I'll need to look at that one day. And because her result was so amazing, I thought, oh, they're going to cost a fortune, those things. And we were a young family with 2 young children, so I knew I couldn't spend the grocery budget buying these things. Anyway, 5 years, 6 years later, my husband had an accident, we call it, but he actually ruptured his esophagus in a vomiting event. And that was a terribly destructive thing to do for your heart cavity and your lungs and everything. So Mike ended up being in hospital for 3 months. And look, what came to mind straight away for me for coping was that lady's powder, for me to take. But also when I had Mike home, I was feeding him by a tube for 6 months, and he wasn't getting healthier. And I thought, no, I have to slip those things down his tube. And so what essentially happened there was, it just was like his body now knew what to do. And it was sort of the key that changed his journey to becoming back to being a strong, healthy man as well. I think it was just the key that enabled that for him. So that's where we joined in. The reach out to Manatech was to find somebody who, because that was 6 years ago, I couldn't even speak to that lady anymore, and but I still didn't have a huge knowledge on the science of glycobiology and glycans, and I actually ended up trying to find somebody because I knew there were 8 things, but I didn't know what the jar was called, so I was trying to ask people the 8 things, and but ambertose was what I was after. But anyway, through a friend and a friend, I ended up speaking to Rod Gilchrist, and that's where I connected into, first of all, for product range, which is what people do, but then obviously went on to see the advantage of the business that Manatech also offers.
Awesome, Rachel. So, both of us being registered nurses, it's so interesting to see our journey, and for me, it was quite an education to learn about. It's different than what I was taught. I wasn't taught really the impact of nutrition on health. Healthy diet was about it. And to learn all about the terrain therapy and the decline of nutrition in our food was like mind blowing for me. And that was 24 years ago now. And yeah, and then once I got over my original initial skepticism and my distrust of learning about some supposed breakthrough in science at a dinner party, I just couldn't stop researching after that. I was a mad woman turned on.
It's like the knowledge that we've learned about nutrition and the commercial development of food at the moment was parallel to nursing. You don't learn it in nursing, but I believe there's a general people assume nurses know about it. They assume that is our knowledge base, but it's not. And so, yes, it was a parallel journey for me as well to actually start to have my eyes opened into seeing. But we can't fault our health system when you had been in a car accident or you've had a heart attack. Those initial preliminary stages of saving your life are brilliant, but chronic disease management does not belong in a hospital, and it almost sometimes does not belong in GP land as well. So it's about the body needs fuel, and giving it the right fuel, it will heal itself. And we've seen that from when you fell over as a child and skidded your knee. It wasn't the Band-Aid that fixed it, it was your body that fixed it, and so it comes all the way through to the health that we're experiencing today, and that our bodies need the right tools. And if you haven't got great grandma's organic veggie garden out the back, then you probably need some of our supplements.
Yeah, mine's left in Canada.
Yeah.
And so what was it for me? It was interesting. It was a difficult transition to the business, but at the same time, it was a natural one. I found myself sharing like mad anyway. And then I realized, I can only help more people. What was your transition like?
Well, I had a great conversation with Donna Cat, who is an associate, and anyway, she was sharing with me what it was like. Now, in my past, when I was raising my children, I had some time with a company called Creative Memories, which was scrapbook albums. And so every week I had to run a scrapbooking workshop to try and sell my little sticker packs, and then every month I had to run a team meeting for the for the people who were teaching it, and then I had to cut out something really pretty and create something new so I could teach something new, and then I'd have to order the products in and I'd bag them all up, and then I'd have to get it all out to the customers. And so when she was telling me, Ron had invited me to join his team, and Mike was unwell still. I was trying to get back into nursing because I'd stopped 3 months to nurse Mike while he was at the John Hunter Hospital. And I only got 2 shifts in my first week, and I thought that's not enough. And so I thought, okay, well, the day I was supposed to have a nursing shift, I would just do whatever Rod Gilchrist tells me to do, But what I realised was that I didn't have to package the product. I didn't have to come up with an idea every week to tell people how to use their products, and I didn't have to transact any money. And so when I was speaking to Donna, I'm like, is that all you have to do? It wasn't all these workshops and bagging and moving stuff around. So it was actually quite doable, for me to see what you actually have to do.
Yeah. And it's quite, listening to your story, and I know my story of recovery to from quite not being sick enough to be unable to work, using nutrition, what really impacted me. And it's part of our mission as a nurse, isn't it? And this is just doing it in a more whole way, in my opinion.
My heart has always been prevention. Prevent people experiencing the dis-ease. We all love our life when it's easy and our health is easy, but if you get a back pain and you have to use a walking stick, you love that walking stick. It's enabling you to your independence, and then you see everyone else who has a walking stick go, oh, I love their walking stick, because it's giving them independence. As soon as you have dis-ease in your body, be it a sore back or whatever, or feeling unwell, or your hands are cramping up, or whatever, you want that ease back, and so my heart's always been, like you, Sharon, and you're an intensivist, so in coronary care intensivist, so you've seen even worse than me. I'm pediatrics midwifery, but what we have there is people in the state of disease, and I don't want people to experience that. I want to stop it. And sometimes I used to say, I don't even want them to walk over the threshold of the doorway into a hospital, because there are statistics about sometimes you go in there and you catch something else, so I didn't want people to go in there at all at times. And so then I thought, well, GP land, that's where I can go and make a difference. But when I got there, if people listen to the education you provide, like quit smoking, slip, slop, slap, put your seatbelt on when you drive in the car, yes, you can prevent things there. But what I found is all the screening that we did, your poo test, your pap smear, and all those things, was we were picking up early detection, which is great because there's so much more scope to actually intervene and return you to ease, but the disease state had started. And what we find, and even some statistics on this, Sharon, it can be up to 5 years where your body has been trying to move all its stuff around to return to normal, and then all of a sudden it'll pop out blood pressure. And it's tried for years to normalize things. Sometimes it hides, toxins in your fat and you can't lose weight. It's trying to keep itself normal and healthy because it's an organism in itself. And so what we find is that although I've still missed the ball, that they've probably been in a level of, what would you say, not normal, that word, not in a normal
homeostasis.
Yes. Something's been tricking out, and on the inside it's been trying to work it out for you, but then finally you end up getting that blood pressure.
A label.
A label. And so that way I thought, no, I'm still not ahead of the game. So then when I learned about the science and technology of what Manatech have and how they offer it to people, and that if they have an ethos of caring but also plant-based nutrition, so the cells in the body knows what to do with that supplementation, I actually thank God for letting me have this, because he knew my heart was to get ahead so people do not experience dis-ease. And so I just felt so privileged that God would allow me to see this in my heart for prevention.
That's awesome, Rachel. I can feel the emotion that's attached to that. And, like Rachel was just explaining so beautifully, I worked in intensive care and open heart and emergency. And even though that's one of our most effective areas of medicine right now, we always will need that. I started to feel not aligned anymore because I could see things like some of the things we were doing, I didn't agree. And so I ended up leaving even before I found Manatech. And obviously my heart was searching, and my situation where my health declined, Western medicine had no answers for it. It wasn't anything that was I was going to be able to go to the doctor and get support for, unless I found an integrative doctor. But this was like 25 years ago, and I didn't really know much about that at the time. So I also feel privileged to be a part of Manatech, and it's an answer to prayer, and people are praying for what we have, right?
Absolutely.
So Rachel,
you've always said,
what were your next steps? Yes.
I was just going to say that you've always said that people go to bed praying for what we have, because if something's keeping people awake, it's either a health solution they want or a wealth solution they want. And you're just about to ask me something about Manatech, and I'm sure I'll say something about this, but that's what you say.
And so looking at the journey to choosing Manatech as a business, sometimes there's peaks and troughs and hiccups along the way. What has it been just smooth sailing for you, or what's your experience of that journey?
Well, I think when I joined, I didn't fully understand the network marketing model, and understand leveraged income and linear income and the differences. So that coming into just accepting to do the business, but then understanding how this all works, it was actually an opportunity for my eyes to be opened. And so then I've grown into that and into that knowledge. So me coming into it, no, it hasn't been smooth sailing as we go along, but it has been a wonderful journey. And I'm so privileged that my husband Mike is with me in the journey as well. And so, when I first started, because that original enthusiasm that we have, I'd signed up quite a few people, and then I when I was trying to train them, which I didn't know how, I ended up then I couldn't remember what I said to what person, and that was really not my. I'm a very detailed person, so that wasn't going to go well. If I already told you this, about nanotech or something, and so I really struggled. So after I had a conversation with James Hannon up at the Ambitious Life launch up at Brisbane, I was inspired to make my own training platform. And so it was an opportunity for me to know it's a 10-week cycle training platform, and that I know where people are up to as I've moved people through, and I have a piece of paper and I tick off what we've gone through. So I was able then to make sure I delivered a thorough training to my associates, and also I knew where I was up to with everybody. Yeah.
That's awesome. I've also been blessed to be the recipient of some of your systems. Very, like you said, very highly detailed, but also it gives people a track to run on. I think that what the takeaway from this is that you do need a path to run on and a running partner. And Rachel, I know that's, I can see that's one of the many reasons that you were recognized with this award, is that, you embraced your local community in that as well. And you should be honored, and you are honored and respected for that.
Oh, thank you. Yes, no, when I started this network marketing, I didn't understand legs. I didn't understand how it all worked. I just thought we've all got to go together. We're all nanotechers, and so going to ACON was lovely, but I spoke about my system, so people were able to come up and talk to me about it. And I said, yeah, let's just all plug in, let's all just do it together. And so it's fantastic, because on a Monday night I do 1 hour training, and I can serve one person, I can serve 100 people. And so if I inspire somebody to sell one more tub of our product to somebody, then that person experiences ease from their dis-ease. That's my heart. So it's not about money, it's about, we can actually do a lot. If everybody had a tub of our product in their cupboard across Australasia, and so I think if someone's inspired to do something, or we're able to work out how to language something different from what I've shared with them, then it's meeting my heart mission.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's no more a tumultuous time in health on the planet than there is right now, is it, Rachel? It's like, holy moly, just like sitting down, get the popcorn and watch it all unfold. It's very disturbing for so many people. So, and literally people are praying for what we have. So it's really important. So can you pick on something that's your most passionate aspect of your partnership with Nanotech?
Oh, well, it's just an overall glow to be part of Nanotech. So when I have my Nanotech journey, which I shared a little bit, when I have my Nanotech life, which I take my own supplementation for, and also the Nanotech journey that I'm on with everybody else. And I think that's the main thing, being with people, sharing with people, having people just support me in showing up to my calls, and the book club, the personal development book club that I run, as well as just for Nanotech ladies, and they're just the most incredible people in my whole life, and all who you are as well. And the fact that we're here in business to make money, I do not set that aside. That I want everybody to know that we all have our customer units to do. Look at your customer unit, make sure you get your 500 points. Some of us just love running around, which is me at first, selling it, loving it and everything like that. But I didn't dot my I's and cross my T's to make sure that little bit of hard business that we can do, make sure that we get paid well for what we do. And so, and the fact we're part of the network marketing industry, and those of us on the call and those in the Nanotech family, you've actually had your eyes opened. Look, there's probably I don't know how much the network marketing industry in relation to, but we're probably 10% of the population of the world in all the network marketing companies that have had our eyes opened to a leveraged income opportunity, while everybody else is still stuck in the time for money model. And so sometimes when you're actually given this an awakening of something, that we should hold it as a treasure. And because we could just be out there slaving it, time for money. So, you know, your hourly rate can be anything from $21 an hour all the way up to whatever. But, you know, here in network marketing, there is actually a quality of life opportunity for you and a quality of income life opportunity for you. So I just love speaking on the network marketing model and how Manatech, you know, people come to Manatech. I've come up with 6 ways now why people come to Manatech, Sharon.
Okay, tell us.
We've always said health, wealth, and purpose, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and so from the inception of Manatech, it's always been an opportunity to have an extra income stream or the income stream. So so wealth there, health is what we are about, and purpose is the M5M, which is just brilliant for children around the world. As we nourish our bodies, we're nourishing their little bodies as well. But as things have progressed, and especially in the last 2 years, we heard Al Bala over the time saying the gig economy. You know, people are looking for that. People are Uber driving or opening up a spare bedroom in their home to let a stranger in there to make a little bit of extra money. Whereas Manatech can fill that gap without having those risks involved as well. And so then we've seen in the last year the Great Resignation, and that's a title that's been given over America, but that would happen globally because everything that happens in America happens here. So what people are doing is they're resigning from jobs and they're shifting. You know, so there's this great resignation opportunity there. So we can actually reach out in that language to speak to people that, you know, it's time to switch up, you know, and look, we have an opportunity here as well. And the other thing, another area which just breaks my heart to say, but we have actually a massive scope now to help people that are vaccine injured. And, you know, that's starting to come out. We've seen like over 1,000 professional sports people suffer post-vaccine, you know, and, you know, I think people are now sort of may even have friends and family around them, which I do. You know, I have a sister with persistent tinnitus, and I have my mum who's now seeing a cardiologist, and all these extra things that their little bodies didn't need. And so, you know, our product range can slot into that as well. So if you're talking to somebody on health, wealth, purpose, the Great Resignation, the gig economy, and vaccine injured people, Manatech fits in now to 6 areas of people's lives that they may be laying awake at night hoping and praying for. So there are opportunities, everybody.
And obviously we're not saying that, you know, glyconutrients or nutritional glycans cure vaccine injury.
True.
But if you've got something out of balance in your body, would extra nutrition be doing a really good thing for it?
Yeah, that's exactly
absolutely
right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I know, looking back on my journey, there's a lot of things I would do differently if I was to do it over again. What have you contemplated on that, Rachel? Is there anything that because people can learn from our, you know, our mistakes, and people, when they're ready to hear, it's quite powerful to learn what would you do differently looking back? Is there anything?
Wow, Sharon. It's been 4 years, like 4 years on the 1st of July, which is next week. So it's 4 years for us to be in Manatech. I think my overwhelm with having, you know, new associates when I first started, then I didn't have a system. And I'm not saying you'll have to go and create a system, so you're welcome to join mine. But Manatech is a duplicatable system. So I really feel that it's important. So I think my frustration was very early on, and I went to sort it out for myself. And that that what we have to do is really, all I want when I sign up a new associate to say, here's your virtual office, and everything you need is in there, you know, and create a system that is duplicatable. So when they sign up their new associates, they say, here's your virtual office, everything you need is in there. So we're not running around going, oh, we have to go over here and join that over there and have to go over here and join that over there. So I've really made sure, and my training system has been built on the success system that's rolled out through the States, and inside every new associate's success guide, the link for that success system training in the States. I looked into the 3-point plan from South Africa as well, and there's a amazing website called Mana Tracker, which is actually the structure which my training is built on as well. So I amalgamated all of that knowledge, so I'm staying on track with Manatech. So I think my advice and what I did was just make sure that you just adopt everything that Manatech offers, and that you keep it as simple as that, so you're not actually having to, it's easy for you to duplicate what you do to your new associates and teams. So, and we've just had the exciting introduction of the Penny app. So, and for those of you who saw my talk at conference, my business training is the tried and true, embrace the new. And, the tried and true, as we all know, is face-to-face, connect and invite, make a list, connect and invite, share solutions, follow up. That's the tried and true. Embrace the new. We've got different people in the family, beautiful Poppy and Naomi and James embracing the new, the social media side of things. And now here comes Penny app for us, embrace the new, so if we can bring on new associates into our team, we say everything you need is inside your virtual office, plus just download the Penny app. This is how you run your business. Isn't that just an easy way to bring people on board? Yeah.
Awesome. So that challenge has turned into actually a win, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Yes.
No problem at all. So is there anything that if somebody's looking today and they're feeling a bit troubled in their business and not knowing where to go, what would you recommend?
For those who've joined Manatech, there was a why at the beginning of the journey for you. And sometimes we take our focus off the why, or our why actually changes. And so I feel that it's always good to revisit that as well, and do it with your upline enroller or an upline mentor, and just make sure. And you might find it's not for you, because if it was an extra income stream, then things might have changed. But I think people have signed the line, or paid their fee to come on board. And overall, Manatech ticks every box as a legacy company, as an opportunity. We've got probably one of the best compensation plans in the industry, but also you can't stray away from what our products do. And even the product Nutriveris just covers everything for your well-being. Just even to have an account with us to have your products delivered to your door, I think is an amazing thing. So you just re-establish your why with your upline, and just see if it's changed, or revisiting. Sometimes we forget it when we actually get into the daily activities of life. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And what would you say to fellow nurses in regards to evaluating Manatech, a partnership with Manatech on any level?
Yes, that's a hard group of people to crack, in that sometimes we actually know our knowledge base that we have, and we think because we've done our degrees or whatever that knowledge base is complete. And so we really, without experiencing for yourself like some disillusionment in the health system itself, and that was you just slightly prior to being introduced to Manatech, that we sometimes just think the health system has the answers. And, unfortunately, it doesn't have all of the answers. And so I think reaching out to nurses, because I believe there's a lot of us in Manatech as well. There's a few nurses that speak on this stage as well, and that we do have a heart. So reaching out to nurses would be to see those nurses that do want to make a difference. And, that's why we sign up to be nurses, that we want to make a difference. So I think if you've got friends and family that are nurses that aren't aware of Meditech. You know, when we do our sharing, you know, in the training is a 4-point thing as well, that you meet with somebody, you just have that little cordial catch up. You can share how Meditech has made a difference in other people's lives, but we also recommend to share a third-party resource. So if you don't feel that you can deliver the message to them in a way, grab a third-party resource, you know, send a link to the nanotechscience.org or print out a document off there, or even give the most powerful tool we have is the story catalogue. That's an amazing book. Just give them one of those. Let the third-party resource from Nanotech do the talking for you. Plug them into an Australasian Connect call, maybe when, you know, Sharon or Diana have presented. Dr. Nugent has presented, you know, and just let the third party resource do. And, you know, the most important thing then is to follow up. And that way you can have those conversations. And, you know, it's great that even a 3-way call, which Meditech trains on, is that to have your upline enroller or mentor on the call, possibly with them, to answer any questions that they may have, so that you're just demonstrating that there's always extra support that can be plugged into them to find out more. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to speak to somebody about those 8 things, and I was plugged into Rod Gilchrist. So that's how the family of Meditech works. So yes, use our third-party resources and approach. If every occupation or group that's on this screen, go and find those people. You know, beautiful Diana is a nutritionist. Speak to those people as well. I don't know how many skydivers you're going to be able to speak to, but quite a few, you know, because Nanotech attracts skydivers as well.
It does. Yeah, taking risks and healthy living.
Yeah.
So is there anything that I've missed asking you that you wanted to highlight today, Rachel?
Yes, there is one thing I wanted to share, and that is that I'm profoundly, profoundly grateful to have been awarded the Mike Forrest Giving Spirit Award, because it's not about what I have achieved, it's not about what I do, it's about who I am. And that's you has been seen by you people out there in our community, and that you would take the time to make a nomination for me to receive that award. And I'm truly humbled, and I want to hug you all. And yes, and so it's such a privilege. Also, I want to acknowledge Rod and Cheryl Gilchrist as my upline enrollers, amazing people that I can just reach out to any time of the day. I'm sure Rod won't appreciate a 3 a.m. call, but I'm sure he would answer if I needed him. And yeah, it's just great relationships there as well. And I didn't have the privilege of meeting Mike Forrest, but I hope one day that I will meet Maureen and be able to acknowledge and thank them for the award that they've made as an ongoing award, but also that Mike Forrest sounds like a pretty amazing man who is generous with time, money, resources, and everything that he was about. So it's a privilege to receive an award in his name.
He certainly was. I did have the privilege of meeting Mike, and he was very generous in his time and knowledge and expertise. Shared it with everyone, just like you do, Rachel. So God bless you. God bless him and Maureen. So what's in your heart to leave people with today, Rachel?
I just want to bring home that our eyes have been opened to a better way, and that's making money through the network marketing industry. Because as I mentioned earlier in the call, that, you know, I don't know that statistic, but it's very high. So 90% of people are doing the time for money model, and you know, we have a privileged opportunity here to take this model and run with it. And, you know, Meditech is probably, I think, one of only 20 legacy companies. That's me guessing too, but legacy companies. And what you do now can be left for your children's children. And that's unlike many other companies as well. So, you know, you can transfer your account at any time to family or friends, and you can even leave your account in your will. And, you know, when I love my children and anticipating grandchildren, that this is the company that I'm in. It meets every need. My heart for prevention. It's a heart to share to people to make women changing lives by making a residual income from home so they can be at home, and then we can hand that on to our family. So why not the blood, sweat and tears that I did at the hospital on the hill? When it was time to finish there, you just sign off, and there's no more money coming from all those 27 years I've put into that. But imagine if I put 27 years into Manatech, doing the right things, doing the tasks that make traction and get you traction in this business. Do 27 years of that, and then you finish, and they go, well, that's all said and done, nothing left. No, here's this golden egg that you have a chance to hand on to your family. And so this opportunity, your eyes are open. Your eyes have been open. It's almost like a gifting. And so when you've been blessed with something, let's take it and do what we can with it. Let's make Manatech Australasia to be the biggest arm of Manatech and they go, what's going on down under?
Oh, Rachel,
yeah.
you're such an inspiration. Yeah, like we always say, people are praying for what we have, and we have the duty to make sure that we don't keep it to ourselves. So, Rachel, God bless you. Do you want to say anything in completion?
No, and look, well, actually, when I joined Manatech, I don't know, remember that first year I joined Manatech, and you were doing calls over Christmas, and I actually messaged you through the Australasia Connect page going, what's wrong with the calls? So I'm so inspired, and I think someone wrote in the chat there that something about leaders, Sharon, and you and the team here on Australasian Connect have actually displayed that you are cross-leg training, you're putting out your knowledge, expertise, and for weeks, every week of the year pretty much. And then I think your records, are we hitting 17 years? Well, how many years have you been doing this call for us, Sharon?
Well, 2003, I think, was my first recording. So
okay, that's even longer than that then. So someone do the sums in the chat, but Sharon, you have demonstrated to include everybody in Manatech as part of your own team, and I felt that from the start, and that's part of the role modelling that I have seen across the Manatech family. So I thank you, Sharon Whiteman, Diana Hunter, and Mr. Gary Knapp for presenting these things for us as a field, because there would be a massive gap in our training and in our week without you being here. So just thank you, and I'm sure everyone's applauding in the chat on this. So I'll speak on all of your behalf that we thank you, team.
God bless you, Rachel. And yeah, like this, so this is a call that's something that you can use for people to understand the heart and soul of what we have. It definitely shouldn't be kept to ourselves. And Rachel, I know that you've blessed everybody listening here today. And I'd also like to acknowledge the people who show up every week, and also that use these tools to pass the word on, and the gift of what Manatech is. We wouldn't be doing anything if it wasn't for you guys. So it takes a village, and I'm very grateful to be part of the Manatech village. So Rachel, thank you for your time today. God bless you. Congratulations on your award. And we'll see you next week. I'm trying to twist kind of Sully's arm for next weekend. So let's see how we go. Another nurse. It must be the nurse run. All right, everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye.